Welcome to Frama Audiobooks, a place where growth is not built on hype or short bursts of motivation, but on steady principles that compound over time and shape lasting success. If you have ever started strong and struggled to maintain momentum, or if you have wondered why some people achieve long-term results while others stop halfway, this audiobook was created to help you understand and master the power of consistency. Today's audiobook is titled Consistency, Build Daily Discipline and Long-Term Success, and it is a structured journey into how small daily actions shape identity, how discipline strengthens reliability, and how long-term success is built through repetition rather than intensity. Throughout this audiobook, you will explore how to develop sustainable habits, protect your commitment during difficult seasons, and create routines that align with your goals so that progress becomes predictable rather than accidental. Before we begin, we invite you to subscribe to Frama Audiobooks like this audiobook and share it with someone who wants to build stronger discipline and lasting success, because consistency is the quiet force that turns potential into achievement. Before we explore the systems and mindset shifts that strengthen discipline, it is important to understand that this audiobook is structured into 8 progressive chapters, each one carefully designed to help you understand consistency, develop daily discipline, protect long-term commitment, and build sustainable success through structured repetition rather than temporary intensity. Every chapter builds upon the previous one so that by the end of this journey, consistency is no longer something you attempt occasionally, but something embedded in your identity, habits, and daily decisions. Chapter 1. The Power of Consistency. Why daily action matters more than intensity. In this chapter, we explore what consistency truly means, why repeated daily effort produces greater long-term results than occasional bursts of motivation, how discipline compounds over time, and why understanding this principle is essential for building sustainable success in any area of life. Consistency is the practice of repeating aligned actions over time regardless of fluctuating emotion, external praise, or temporary setbacks. And without this steady repetition, even the strongest ambition fades before meaningful results can materialize. Intensity creates excitement. Excitement sparks momentum. Momentum feels powerful in the beginning. Yet intensity without structure fades quickly. When enthusiasm declines, effort weakens. Weakened effort slows progress. Slowed progress discourages continuation. Discouragement leads to abandonment. Consistency protects effort from emotional fluctuation. Daily action compounds into visible growth. Long-term success is rarely the result of extraordinary talent alone, but rather the outcome of ordinary actions repeated with discipline and clarity over extended periods. Repetition strengthens skill. Strengthened skill improves performance. Improved performance builds confidence. Confidence reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds results. Results validate commitment. Commitment deepens consistency. The human mind often overvalues dramatic progress while undervaluing incremental improvement, yet small daily actions accumulate quietly and predictably into outcomes that appear significant only in hindsight. Small effort feels insignificant in isolation. Accumulated effort becomes transformative. Transformation builds belief. Belief strengthens discipline. Discipline supports continued action. Continued action compounds growth. Consistency also builds trust with yourself because each time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce internal credibility and strengthen the belief that you are reliable and capable of honoring your intentions. Reliability strengthens identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior reinforces discipline. Discipline stabilizes progress. Progress reinforces confidence. Another essential insight is that consistency reduces pressure because when daily effort becomes routine, the need for dramatic bursts of productivity diminishes and growth becomes steady rather than reactive. Reduced pressure stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion supports clarity. Clarity strengthens decision-making. Decision-making improves outcomes. Outcomes reinforce trust. Consistency transforms failure into adjustment rather than defeat because when daily effort is embedded in routine, occasional setbacks do not disrupt long-term direction. Setbacks become data. Data informs refinement. Refinement improves strategy. Improved strategy accelerates progress. Progress reinforces persistence. Daily action strengthens identity because repeated behavior gradually shifts self-perception from someone who attempts change to someone who lives by disciplined standards. Identity stabilizes habit. Habit reinforces action. Action compounds achievement. Achievement builds pride. Pride sustains commitment. Ultimately, consistency is the quiet force that transforms intention into measurable progress, ensuring that long-term success is built not through emotional surges but through disciplined repetition aligned with purpose. This chapter establishes that daily action matters more than intensity, and when discipline becomes steady rather than sporadic, results become predictable rather than accidental. Now that you understand why consistency outweighs intensity and how daily action compounds into long-term success, the next step is learning how to build discipline in a way that is sustainable rather than exhausting. In this chapter, we explore how habits are formed, how structured routines strengthen commitment, and how daily discipline becomes easier when it is designed intentionally rather than forced impulsively. Chapter 2. Building daily discipline, creating habits that last. In this chapter, we explore how daily discipline is cultivated, why structured habits reduce reliance on motivation, and how designing consistent routines allows progress to continue steadily, even when energy and emotion fluctuate. Daily discipline begins with clarity because without a defined objective, effort becomes scattered and inconsistent, making it difficult to build reliable routines that support meaningful progress. Clear objectives sharpen direction. Sharpened direction reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation accelerates action. Accelerated action builds rhythm. Rhythm strengthens habit formation. Habit formation stabilizes behavior. Stable behavior reinforces identity. Identity strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains consistency. Habits are formed through repetition in stable contexts, meaning that performing the same action at similar times or under similar conditions reduces mental resistance and strengthens automatic execution over time. Repeated cues trigger behavior. Triggered behavior becomes routine. Routine reduces decision fatigue. Reduced fatigue preserves energy. Preserved energy supports repetition. Repetition reinforces discipline. Discipline stabilizes progress. Motivation fluctuates daily, yet habits remain reliable when they are structured intentionally, allowing progress to continue even during periods of low enthusiasm or temporary fatigue. Structure replaces reliance on mood. Replaced reliance strengthens consistency. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence reinforces identity. Identity deepens discipline. Discipline sustains effort. Starting small strengthens habit formation, because manageable commitments reduce overwhelm and increase the likelihood of repetition, which is the foundation of sustainable discipline. Small actions build momentum. Momentum increases confidence. Confidence encourages expansion. Expansion compounds growth. Growth validates commitment. Environment plays a critical role in discipline because arranging physical and digital spaces to support positive routines reduces friction and minimizes temptation to abandon consistent action. Reduced friction simplifies execution. Simplified execution strengthens repetition. Repetition reinforces habit. Habit stabilizes identity. Identity strengthens consistency. Tracking daily habits strengthens accountability because measurable progress provides visible evidence of commitment and reinforces the desire to maintain streaks and structured patterns. Visible tracking builds awareness. Awareness strengthens intention. Intention supports discipline. Discipline sustains consistency. Consistency compounds achievement. Discipline is also strengthened by clear boundaries because protecting time and energy for important tasks reduces external interference that might otherwise disrupt routine. Protected time strengthens focus. Strengthened focus improves quality. Improved quality reinforces pride. Pride sustains commitment. Ultimately, building daily discipline transforms effort into routine, ensuring that progress continues steadily regardless of emotional variation or temporary distraction. This chapter reinforces that discipline is not harsh self-control, but structured alignment between intention and action, allowing habits to carry you forward even when motivation feels distant. Now that you understand how daily discipline is built through structured habits and intentional routines, the next critical step is addressing the pattern that prevents many people from achieving long-term success, which is the cycle of starting strong and stopping prematurely. In this chapter, we explore why inconsistency occurs, how emotional fluctuation disrupts momentum, and how to break the habit of abandoning progress before results fully develop. Chapter 3. Overcoming inconsistency, breaking the cycle of starting and stopping. In this chapter, we explore why people struggle with inconsistency, how emotional highs and lows influence commitment, and how building resilience, structured systems, and self-awareness allows you to break the cycle of repeated beginnings without sustainable follow-through. Inconsistency often begins with unrealistic expectations because when progress does not match imagined speed or visible reward, enthusiasm fades and doubt quietly replaces determination. Unrealistic timelines create pressure. Pressure amplifies disappointment. Disappointment weakens motivation. Weakened motivation reduces effort. Reduced effort slows progress further. Slower progress reinforces frustration. Frustration invites abandonment. Understanding this pattern restores clarity. Clarity recalibrates expectation. Calibrated expectation stabilizes discipline. Emotional fluctuation plays a powerful role in inconsistency, because many individuals act primarily when inspired and withdraw when enthusiasm fades, creating a pattern where progress depends on mood rather than structured commitment. Mood-driven effort lacks stability. Lack of stability weakens momentum. Weak momentum slows visible growth. Slow growth discourages continuation. Structured systems reduce emotional dependency. Reduced dependency strengthens reliability. Reliability stabilizes action. Action compounds progress. Another common cause of inconsistency is overcommitment, because taking on excessive goals simultaneously divides attention and increases cognitive strain, making sustained repetition difficult to maintain. Divided focus weakens discipline. Weakened discipline reduces completion. Reduced completion damages confidence. Damaged confidence lowers motivation. Strategic focus simplifies effort. Simplified effort strengthens repetition. Repetition reinforces habit. Habit sustains consistency. Fear of failure also interrupts consistency because the discomfort of imperfection can discourage continued effort when results are not immediate or flawless. Fear magnifies mistakes. Magnified mistakes weaken confidence. Weakened confidence invites retreat. Reframing failure as feedback restores growth orientation. Growth orientation strengthens resilience. Resilience supports repetition. Repetition sustains progress. Lack of visible short-term reward often undermines perseverance because human psychology seeks reinforcement. And when progress appears slow, commitment can weaken unless long-term vision remains strong. Reinforcement strengthens motivation. Motivation sustains action. Action builds measurable progress. Measurable progress restores belief. Belief reinforces discipline. Another powerful solution to inconsistency is reducing the barrier to restarting because setbacks will inevitably occur. And the ability to resume quickly without self-judgment preserves long-term momentum. Quick recovery stabilizes rhythm. Stable rhythm sustains effort. Sustained effort compounds growth. Growth reinforces identity. Identity strengthens consistency. Accountability strengthens follow-through because sharing goals or tracking progress publicly increases psychological commitment and reduces the temptation to withdraw silently when effort becomes difficult. External accountability reinforces responsibility. Responsibility strengthens discipline. Discipline stabilizes repetition. Repetition builds reliability. Ultimately, overcoming inconsistency requires awareness, structured systems, emotional regulation, and the willingness to continue even when motivation fluctuates. This chapter reinforces that consistency is not the absence of difficulty, but the commitment to return repeatedly to aligned action despite setbacks, ensuring that starting and stopping is replaced with steady and sustained progress. As you begin to understand how to break the cycle of inconsistency and sustain daily discipline beyond emotional fluctuation, the next crucial element in building long-term success is patience. Because consistency without long-term vision often weakens when immediate results fail to appear. In this chapter, we explore how patience strengthens commitment, how long-term thinking stabilizes effort, and why enduring progress requires seeing beyond short-term outcomes. Chapter 4. Patience and long-term vision, thinking beyond immediate results. In this chapter, we explore how patience protects consistency, why long-term vision stabilizes discipline, and how shifting focus from immediate reward to enduring growth strengthens your ability to sustain daily effort over months and years. Patience is the quiet companion of consistency because, without the ability to tolerate delayed gratification, even disciplined routines can collapse under the weight of unrealistic expectations and emotional urgency. Immediate reward satisfies desire. Delayed reward strengthens character. Strengthened character reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds progress. Progress accumulates gradually. Gradual accumulation builds meaningful success. Meaningful success validates patience. Long-term vision stabilizes effort because when daily tasks are connected to a broader purpose, small steps feel significant rather than insignificant or repetitive. Purpose clarifies direction. Clear direction strengthens commitment. Commitment supports repetition. Repetition compounds skill. Skill enhances performance. Performance reinforces belief. Belief deepens perseverance. Impatience often distorts perception because when results do not appear quickly, the mind exaggerates stagnation and underestimates incremental improvement that is unfolding beneath the surface. Distorted perception weakens confidence. Weakened confidence reduces effort. Reduced effort slows progress. Slowed progress reinforces doubt. Measured evaluation restores clarity. Clarity strengthens patience. Patience protects consistency. Another essential aspect of long-term thinking is understanding compounding because small improvements repeated consistently produce exponential growth over time, even when short-term progress appears minimal. Compounding strengthens advantage. Advantage builds momentum. Momentum accelerates development. Development reinforces confidence. Confidence supports sustained discipline. Comparison often undermines patience because observing others' visible results can create the illusion that progress should be immediate, ignoring unseen preparation and long-term effort. Comparison distorts expectation. Distorted expectation increases frustration. Frustration weakens focus. Reframing progress as personal strengthens stability. Stability protects consistency. Consistency compounds achievement. Patience also reduces emotional volatility, because accepting gradual progress stabilizes mood and reduces the intensity of discouragement during temporary plateaus or slow seasons. Emotional stability strengthens clarity. Clarity supports better decisions. Better decisions sustain direction. Direction reinforces discipline. Discipline deepens commitment. Maintaining long-term vision requires periodic reflection because revisiting goals strengthens motivation and reminds you why repetition matters even when results feel distant. Reflection restores purpose. Purpose strengthens resolve. Resolve stabilizes effort. Effort compounds growth. Growth validates patience. Ultimately, patience and long-term vision transform consistency into a sustainable practice, ensuring that daily discipline remains strong even when immediate rewards are absent. This chapter reinforces that meaningful success is rarely immediate, but when effort is aligned with purpose and supported by patience, progress becomes steady, resilient, and powerfully cumulative. As patience strengthens your long-term vision and stabilizes your expectations, the next challenge emerges during difficult seasons, when routine feels heavier and motivation feels distant despite clear goals and structured habits. In this chapter, we explore how resilience sustains consistency when circumstances become demanding, how to remain committed during emotional fatigue, and how daily discipline survives periods of stress, uncertainty, or slow progress. Chapter 5: Resilience in Routine, Staying Committed During Difficult Seasons. In this chapter, we explore how resilience strengthens consistency during challenging periods, why emotional fatigue does not have to interrupt disciplined habits, and how maintaining routine during adversity protects long-term success and personal growth. Difficult seasons test consistency because routine feels effortless when energy is high and circumstances are favorable, yet true discipline reveals itself when emotional strain, external pressure, or unexpected setbacks disrupt comfort and stability. Stress amplifies doubt. Doubt weakens confidence. Weakened confidence reduces effort. Reduced effort slows progress. Slowed progress intensifies discouragement. Discouragement invites abandonment. Resilience interrupts this pattern by preserving commitment despite discomfort. Preserved commitment sustains routine. Sustained routine protects progress. Resilience in routine requires separating emotion from action because waiting to feel motivated before continuing disciplined behavior often leads to prolonged inactivity and stalled growth. Emotion fluctuates naturally. Fluctuation should not dictate behavior. Structured action stabilizes progress. Stabilized progress rebuilds confidence. Confidence reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Maintaining routine during difficulty strengthens identity because each act of follow-through during adversity reinforces the belief that you are dependable and capable of honoring commitments regardless of circumstance. Reliability builds self-trust. Self-trust strengthens confidence. Confidence stabilizes behavior. Stable behavior reinforces identity. Identity deepens consistency. Another powerful strategy is adjusting intensity rather than abandoning routine entirely, because maintaining smaller versions of disciplined habits preserves continuity and prevents total disengagement during overwhelming periods. Reduced intensity protects momentum. Protected momentum maintains connection. Maintained connection sustains identity. Identity reinforces commitment. Emotional awareness strengthens resilience because recognizing fatigue or stress without surrendering to it allows balanced response rather than impulsive withdrawal. Balanced response preserves clarity. Preserved clarity improves decision-making. Improved decisions protect routine. Routine sustains progress. Progress rebuilds energy. Support systems also enhance resilience because shared accountability and encouragement reduce isolation that can magnify discouragement unnecessarily during difficult phases. Encouragement stabilizes morale. Stable morale sustains effort. Sustained effort compounds progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens perseverance. Reflection during adversity reinforces perspective because reviewing past progress highlights how far you have already come and strengthens determination to continue rather than retreat. Perspective reduces overwhelm. Reduced overwhelm preserves clarity. Clarity strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains routine. Ultimately, resilience in routine ensures that consistency survives emotional fluctuation and external challenge, transforming discipline from conditional effort into stable commitment. This chapter reinforces that the true power of consistency is revealed not during comfortable seasons, but during demanding ones, when routine becomes the anchor that protects long-term success and personal growth. As resilience strengthens your ability to maintain routine during difficult seasons, the next evolution of consistency emerges at the level of identity, because long-term discipline becomes far more stable when it is tied to who you believe you are rather than what you temporarily feel. In this chapter, we explore how personal standards shape daily behavior, how identity reinforces consistency, and how becoming someone who shows up every day transforms discipline into a natural expression of character. Chapter 6: Identity and Standards, Becoming Someone Who Shows Up Daily. In this chapter, we explore how identity influences consistency, why personal standards strengthen daily discipline, and how redefining yourself as someone who follows through transforms effort into an automatic and enduring practice. Identity shapes behavior more deeply than motivation because when you believe you are someone who honors commitments and values steady progress, your actions align naturally with that belief even during moments of low energy or external distraction. Self-perception influences decisions. Decisions shape daily habits. Habits reinforce identity. Reinforced identity stabilizes discipline. Discipline sustains consistency. Consistency compounds growth. Growth strengthens confidence. Confidence deepens commitment. Commitment protects long-term success. Personal standards act as internal guidelines that determine acceptable behavior. And when standards are clearly defined, daily action becomes a matter of alignment rather than negotiation. Clear standards reduce hesitation. Reduced hesitation strengthens follow-through. Follow-through builds reliability. Reliability reinforces self-trust. Self-trust stabilizes identity. Identity supports consistency. Raising personal standards gradually strengthens discipline because incremental improvement prevents overwhelm while reinforcing the belief that growth is ongoing and sustainable rather than extreme and short-lived. Gradual elevation builds confidence. Confidence supports effort. Effort reinforces routine. Routine stabilizes identity. Identity strengthens discipline. Consistency becomes easier when it reflects self-respect rather than obligation because showing up daily becomes an expression of pride and integrity rather than external pressure or fear of failure. Self-respect fuels discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds achievement. Achievement reinforces pride. Pride strengthens identity. Another powerful element of identity-based consistency is eliminating internal excuses because recognizing patterns of avoidance allows you to replace rationalization with responsibility and action. Responsibility strengthens authority. Authority stabilizes discipline. Discipline protects routine. Routine sustains progress. Progress reinforces belief. Surrounding yourself with individuals who embody consistency reinforces your standards, because social influence shapes expectation and normalizes disciplined behavior as a shared value rather than an exception. Shared standards strengthen accountability. Accountability reinforces discipline. Discipline stabilizes consistency. Consistency compounds results. Reflecting on your long-term aspirations strengthens identity because envisioning the person you intend to become aligns daily behavior with that future self and reinforces disciplined action as part of your transformation. Future vision strengthens present commitment. Present commitment sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Growth reinforces identity. Ultimately, identity and personal standards transform consistency from a temporary effort into a defining trait, ensuring that daily discipline becomes an expression of who you are rather than something you struggle to maintain. This chapter reinforces that when consistency becomes part of your identity, showing up daily feels natural, reliable, and aligned with long-term success. As identity and personal standards begin to anchor your discipline internally, the next step is strengthening your external structure, because even the strongest mindset benefits from systems that reduce friction and support consistent action. In this chapter, we explore how designing intentional systems protects routine, how structured environments strengthen discipline, and how building supportive frameworks transforms consistency from effort into efficiency. Chapter 7. Systems and Structure. Designing a life that supports consistency. In this chapter, we explore how structured systems strengthen consistency, why environment influences daily discipline more than willpower alone, and how designing supportive routines reduces friction, protects focus, and sustains long-term success. Consistency thrives in structure because relying solely on willpower places unnecessary strain on decision, while intentional systems automate behavior and reduce the cognitive effort required to maintain routine. Automation reduces decision fatigue. Reduced fatigue preserves energy. Preserved energy strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds progress. Progress reinforces confidence. Confidence deepens commitment. Designing a consistent daily schedule strengthens reliability, because predictable time blocks reduce uncertainty and create clear boundaries for focused action rather than reactive effort. Structured timing reduces procrastination. Reduced procrastination accelerates momentum. Momentum deepens engagement. Engagement strengthens output. Output reinforces pride. Pride sustains discipline. Environment plays a decisive role in behavior because physical and digital spaces either support focus or subtly invite distraction, and adjusting surroundings intentionally strengthens long-term consistency without requiring constant mental resistance. Supportive environments reduce friction. Reduced friction simplifies execution. Simplified execution strengthens repetition. Repetition reinforces habit. Habit stabilizes identity. Clear planning systems strengthen discipline because defining tasks, deadlines, and priorities reduces ambiguity and eliminates the confusion that often leads to hesitation or delay. Defined tasks sharpen focus. Sharpened focus accelerates action. Accelerated action builds rhythm. Rhythm sustains immersion. Immersion enhances productivity. Tracking progress strengthens consistency because measurable milestones provide visible reinforcement and maintain awareness of effort even when results develop gradually over time. Visible progress builds confidence. Confidence supports discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Growth reinforces belief. Simplifying commitments protects energy because overloading your schedule with excessive obligations weakens consistency by dividing attention and reducing available cognitive resources for meaningful work. Strategic reduction strengthens clarity. Clarity stabilizes effort. Stabilized effort deepens discipline. Discipline protects consistency. Establishing review routines strengthens long-term structure because evaluating progress periodically allows adjustments that refine systems rather than abandoning them prematurely during temporary difficulty. Reflection strengthens perspective. Perspective stabilizes expectation. Stable expectation protects routine. Routine sustains progress. Ultimately, systems and structure transform consistency into a supported practice rather than a daily struggle, ensuring that discipline is reinforced by environment, schedule, and planning rather than dependent on fluctuating motivation. This chapter reinforces that sustainable success is built not only through internal commitment, but through intentional design of daily life that makes consistency the easiest and most natural choice. With mindset strengthened, discipline established, inconsistency addressed, patience cultivated, resilience developed, identity aligned, and systems designed intentionally, the final step is integration, where consistency becomes a lifelong advantage rather than a temporary phase. In this final chapter, we explore how to sustain discipline across seasons of growth and how long-term success emerges naturally from steady daily action. Chapter 8. Long-term success through consistency, turning daily discipline into lifelong achievement. In this chapter, we explore how consistent effort compounds over years, why maintaining discipline across changing seasons ensures sustained growth, and how integrating all previous principles transforms daily action into meaningful and lasting achievement. Long-term success is rarely the result of dramatic transformation, but the outcome of small, disciplined actions repeated faithfully across extended periods of time, creating cumulative progress that eventually becomes undeniable. Repeated effort compounds gradually. Gradual compounding builds momentum. Momentum accelerates development. Development strengthens expertise. Expertise enhances opportunity. Opportunity expands growth. Growth reinforces commitment. Sustaining consistency across years requires adaptability because circumstances evolve, responsibilities change, and priorities shift. Yet disciplined individuals adjust systems rather than abandon standards. Adaptation preserves continuity. Continuity sustains identity. Identity reinforces discipline. Discipline stabilizes progress. Progress compounds success. Maintaining perspective strengthens long-term discipline because recognizing that setbacks are temporary reduces emotional reaction and protects structured routine from impulsive abandonment. Perspective reduces panic. Reduced panic preserves clarity. Clarity strengthens decision-making. Decision-making protects consistency. Consistency sustains momentum. Consistency also strengthens credibility because reliable follow-through builds trust with others, creating professional and personal opportunities that reward disciplined behavior over time. Trust strengthens reputation. Reputation expands opportunity. Opportunity accelerates achievement. Achievement reinforces identity. Identity sustains discipline. Celebrating milestones along the journey reinforces motivation because acknowledging progress strengthens appreciation for steady effort rather than waiting exclusively for distant outcomes. Recognition builds pride. Pride supports discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Growth validates consistency. Ultimately, long-term success emerges from daily discipline integrated into identity, environment, resilience, patience, and structured systems, ensuring that progress continues steadily regardless of external fluctuation. This final chapter reinforces that consistency is not a temporary strategy, but a lifelong practice that transforms potential into measurable achievement and ordinary effort into extraordinary results. As this audiobook comes to a close, it becomes clear that consistency is not a dramatic force that announces itself with excitement, but a quiet and disciplined rhythm that shapes identity, habits, and long-term success through steady repetition. Throughout these 8 chapters, you have explored why daily action outweighs intensity, how habits are built intentionally, how inconsistency is overcome, how patience strengthens long-term vision, how resilience protects routine during difficult seasons, how identity and personal standards anchor discipline, how systems support sustained effort, and how long-term success naturally emerges from structured consistency. When these principles operate together, Progress is no longer unpredictable or dependent on emotion, but becomes a reliable outcome of aligned daily behavior repeated over time. If this audiobook helped you understand the true power of consistency and inspired you to strengthen your daily discipline, we invite you to subscribe to Fremma audiobooks like this audiobook and share it with someone who wants to build lasting success through steady action, because the principles of discipline and consistency are most powerful when practiced and shared. We also encourage you to leave a comment and tell us which chapter resonated with you most or what habit you are committed to strengthening starting today. As your engagement helps this channel continue creating thoughtful audiobooks designed to support growth, clarity, and long-term achievement. Thank you for listening to Fremma Audiobooks. And remember that true success is rarely built in a single moment of intensity, but in the quiet daily decision to show up, follow through, and continue moving forward with discipline and purpose.